Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Here we are at Acme in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Does everyone know that they're seeing stand-up, which you saw, and now a podcast about stand-up? All right.
I want 5 people to storm out right now.
I'm Jackie Cation.
I'm Laurie Kilmartin, by default. That was a great set.
And you as well.
Yeah, some stuff I'm working on, you know.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. You see this Captain Marvel jacket right here? Look at this.
Oh,
it's a sweet jacket. I know you'd think, but I flew in late last night, and I was like, I'm just gonna bring pajamas.
Don't even mention pajamas, because that's what I'm supposed to be wearing right now at 4:00 in the afternoon on my weekend shows. Why did you do this?
Because I didn't realize you lived like the big cats. You like to sleep about 16 hours a day when you're on the
lounge.
road.
I have my robe. I have this awesome, amazing, long cowl neck, like, sleeper. Yes, people are gasping. They know. I got it at a Loft outlet in Sacramento last week, and I love it so much, and I've been sitting in it all week, and I was looking forward to having the full day. I thought, when you suggested this, I'm like, oh no,
so
wait, she's going to do this. I am angry.
We might make
I have to put on makeup at 2 p.m. I
This is an opportunity.
Stop talking when I'm talking.
Nope.
So yeah, I don't get my nap. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go back to the hotel and put my pajamas on for an hour.
I need you to record one more
show.
hour after this. Is that okay? Just do the Patreon or no, the Max Fun.
No, we're gonna do
How about
that
do one of both? We're just gonna keep talking for the next 4 hours, and then you have 2 shows tonight. Is that right?
I'm gonna leave, and you can continue talking, pretend I'm talking, so you'll be inspired to talk over me.
It'll finally I'll get to finish a story. It'll be great. I'm just gonna organize these items some more.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, here we are at the Acme. Are you having a good week?
I am having a good week. I had this. Okay, so usually what happens is when I'm headlining, I like a light at 35 minutes and a light at 45 minutes, right? So 35, I'm like...
Seems high maintenance. Go ahead.
Oh, you're the one that has 18 things on your fucking little desk right now, okay? That have to be ordered in the correct way.
Square it up.
Okay. So and that lets me know where I am, and then once I get the second light, I'm like, I can get off stage now, or I could just keep going for a little bit. But it helps me pace myself, right? Because I don't like to look at my watch like comics do. It drives me up the wall when people do that, because it takes me out of the moment. It makes me realize, oh, this is all fucking fake, right?
You got to write a watch joke. Watch joke. I used to have a watch. Did you never have a watch?
I did have a watch joke. That's the mark of a 10 years comic in. Okay, no thanks. I don't want a watch joke. I want the lights on fucking time.
Weirdly enough, it was when I was 10 years in.
I know.
That's when I wrote that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I miss the 35-minute light. They did it, but I didn't see it. So I keep going, and I'm like, fuck, it feels like I've been on stage a long time.
Uh-huh.
But then I thought, oh, maybe there's a problem with the checks or something like that. And then I got a light, the 45-minute light, which I thought was the 35. And so I'm like, okay, 10 more minutes. And I'm clearly towards the end of my set.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'll fuck around with the crowd a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. So I keep going, and I'm waiting for that second light saying you're on the all clear, and they're not giving it to me because they've already given it to me. I'm like, oh fuck, what's happening?
What night was this? What show?
It was, I think, Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I said to the audience, I'm like, I don't know how long I've been on stage, and then they gave me a light, so I'm like, okay. I go, all right, so I'll just finish with this, and I started a joke I haven't done in 2 years. And I couldn't remember it. Been there. I'm like, my boyfriend cheated on me, and then I'm like, what the fuck?
Where does this go?
And
muscle memory. Did it work?
Those muscles have atrophied on that joke. And that's good. I don't want to ever be doing that bit again.
Right.
You know? So Then there was this incredible, uncomfortable 20 seconds where I was like waiting for the words to fill into my head and come out of my mouth, and they weren't. And I told the crowd what was happening. And then
Did you get a laugh?
What?
Did you get a laugh?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm a fucking pro bitch. Okay. And then there was this other chunk I thought that I've been dropping all week because I was like, I don't need this chunk anymore. I have new things to fill it in. That's how I'm slowly gonna get a new hour. So I'm like, all right, that one's done. And then I thought, I'll just do that one and then get off, which I did. Okay. But I ended up doing like an hour, you know,
What are you,
which
Chappelle? Come on.
I think that's what people are normally doing anyway. But it was the last 15 minutes I was highly stressed out because I thought it was way under.
Right. Just a little stressed.
Yeah.
But Mary Jo Pehl said she did a guest set on Thursday.
Yes.
And that you freaking killed.
It was fun. Thursday was fun. Yeah.
That was a good one. Did you guys get to see Mary Jo Pehl? Did anybody come see the show, Mary? Oh, there we go in the back. Some people saw the Thursday show. Good for you. And,
is that your sister?
That who saw the show on Thursday? Yeah.
Yeah. Thursday was a really fun one.
But, I thought you were asking me if Mary Jo Pehl was my sister.
Yeah. But you are related to everyone here near Lake Michigan.
Everyone in the audience.
Yes.
My father is very prolific.
The women never said no.
Without a number.
They didn't need a number.
I tell you that I called my dad and I answered. I said, "Dad, your face is a cash cow," and he said, "It always has been." And I was like, "Okay."
So last night's show was really chatty, and it was.
Oh, really? You love that though? Sometimes.
Sometimes it depends.
You deal with it better than I do.
It depends if they're drunk. Like there was. Okay, this is. I have to like. Lie a little bit here, but so there was somebody who knows my family at last night's show, and then started talking about my dad during a joke about my dog, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Are you trying to make me cry in the middle of my set?
Well, no, but you can't heckle me with insider information that nobody fucking else knows, and it doesn't make sense to anyone. I'd rather hear nice tits than, what about your dad? Like, what are you doing?
Right, it's very hard to riff off of.
That was weird, and then so I'm like, all right, I just can't even look stage left, right? Because I don't want to catch her eye again, because I'm afraid that's going to trigger her. You never know what's going to get people popping, right? You make eye contact with someone, they're like, she wants me to talk again. So that to ignore this part of the audience. And then there were like little fires everywhere right up front.
Oh, weird.
But so I was like, this show's exhausting. It's not fun. I felt bad for the people that came for it. But then afterwards, everyone's like, I love how you handled all that shit. And I'm like, whatever. Maybe
I do love how you handle all that shit. It's really good.
Maybe people, like, we're working so hard on our material, and all they want to do is see you smash somebody. You know,
right?
Like maybe
they should see Hofstetter.
Care what we care about.
They should go see Steve Hofstetter. That guy destroys hecklers.
Yes.
He's got a YouTube channel.
It's almost as if he invites hecklers to the show.
It's almost like he's working that angle so that he has more YouTube content.
Good for him.
And the guy's a marketing genius.
Everyone make their money doing stand-up. That's I'm happy for that.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So, but that was the only show where I was physically just drained after the end of it, and the rest of them were a lot of just really they were physically demanding because the audiences were big and kind of wild and stuff. But it was fun. It wasn't like I wasn't like on a roll and then getting cut off by.
Oh, no. There's the well-trained audiences.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the bouncers like came up in like Roman soldiers and just stood right next to these tables and were like,
Kevin!
Yeah, it was great.
I like Kevin. He's a large man. And and hence imposing. But it's very nice.
Yes.
Very sweet joke. My nightmare of an evening was I flew first class. I know. It starts out so hard. But I paid, what I did was the Patreon paid for the ticket to get me here.
Yes.
But then I bumped myself up using points. Because I was like, this is a fast trip. I want to travel as comfortably as possible. So I bumped myself up to first class, treated myself like the Fabergé egg that I am. Now,
can I ask why? Because it does seem like a lot of trouble when we could have just done this tomorrow night at my house.
Do you want to follow me to Toronto in April?
No.
I thought you did. See, here's the thing.
What?
The illusion is that you wanted to do these shows.
No, I don't want to. I never want to do this show. I never want to do anything. I just want to be in a bed by the ocean, okay? But that's not the life I'm allowed to lead.
I thought you liked the idea of building live audiences around the country.
I do, but it's so much trouble for you to do this for this podcast. You know,
Right.
I was like shocked that you follow through on it. That's why I didn't talk you out of it, because I was like, why don't you fly to Australia for a podcast?
Dave Anthony did it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the dollop. Anyway, that's what he calls his podcast.
Well, your vocal commentary
it's it's a weird word, the dollop. It makes you want to go, do you have a wet one? Anyway, so, but I am going, this is a long story, so you feel free to interrupt, because this should be a real clock eater.
But you never explain why. Are you going back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I literally did it because I thought you wanted to do more of these.
Okay, sure.
That was the whole reason. There's no other reason.
I feel like I'm being gaslit. Like, I didn't ask you to fly all the way out here
You never
for one
did.
podcast.
No, you haven't done it. But remember we did those ones in Portland and
Yeah, but we
Eugene.
both were like suffering together.
Right.
For you to come out for one is a lot of trouble.
Right, but I also have family here and a. Yeah, this is my home club. Okay. I love Acme. Okay. Yay! I love.
Oh, stop taking her side. I'm right too.
I didn't ask you to fly to Dayton. I'm doing Dayton in 2 weeks, the Funny Bone, and then I'm doing Bloomington right after.
Is the Funny Bone the old Lisa Grigsby room?
It's a Stroop room. The guy who books, he has 5 Funny Bones, Columbus, and
Stroop. Okay.
Stroop, yeah,
Right.
and
Stroop.
yeah, he's the guy that I auditioned for 20 years ago,
right,
and I spent $1,000, and he told me he was going to book me, and then he never did.
Yes. Well, I'm
And now
glad you're working for him now.
Yeah, 21 years later, it's great.
It's great to be
good
a
business plan. You
a
guys.
female in comedy, guys.
It's
but-
well, I think he did it because of my booker dude. Anyway,
Okay.
so
But Grigsby used to sell. It was a comedy club, and then she sold vibrators up front. She fucking hit every market. You gotta love that. Your dad would love her.
blessedly, my father has never spoken to me about vibrators. The topics that he has never spoken to me about are legion. There are buildings full of awesome things that he has decided to spare me.
Okay.
And I do love that because, but I will. Okay, so I'm going to finish this story about flying on the airplane. First class. The guy sitting next to me is on the phone with somebody telling him that he has had a terrible experience at the Sky Club, and. Someone was drunk.
He's complaining about his Sky Club.
About his Sky Club experience on the phone. He's sitting next to me. He hangs up. He's got a glass of wine next to him, and then he turns to me and he's like, "Who are you? How are you? What are you? What's your name?"
No.
Oh, all 100,000 times now. I'm wearing headphones. I'm playing Marvel Puzzle Quest. There's a book in the thing, and I've already chosen a film.
You're hitting silence on all cylinders.
On all cylinders. But it sounded like he had a terrible day, so I decided to be polite. First mistake. Oh, so sad. And literally he was like, "So what's your name?" And then my name is Jackie. His name was Al. Anyway, next question. What do you do for a living? Silence from me. The third time he asked me, I told him that I was a podcaster, which is hilarious that he thought that was a living.
Interesting. Yes.
But by then he had 3 glasses of wine in front of me.
Oh my God.
And then by the 5th wine, it was so bad because he kept poking my arm. And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "No, I'm sorry." And I said, "Of course." And he didn't sound drunk because the guy's a career drunk. Like the guy's
Right.
full on. And he said, "So are you gay to me?" And I said, "No." And he said, "I am." And I was like, "Great." And then he said,
was that a relief at the right? Like, at least you don't have to worry about that.
Right. Well, there's. I guess the poking isn't going to include his penis at any time. So, and then he was like, "So what do you do for a living?" I was a podcaster, and then he showed me pictures of him and his husband going to see Moulin Rouge in New York, and then he said, "What are you watching?" And this is like every 15 minutes. I'd be like, "Hey man, I recorded a lot of Dork Forest today. I podcast today. I can't." Really, I'm not chatty right now.
I have nodules on my throat.
I'm just sleepy tired. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, okay." And then 15 or 20 minutes go by, and then he poked me again and go, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Frozen 2. And then he said, "I'm going to watch it too." And then he put it on, and then...
But he's 15 minutes behind you?
Yeah. And 20 minutes into it, he pokes me, and I'm like, "Yes." And he goes, "I don't like it."
Why aren't you married to him? I'm sorry, Andy, but this is a marriage. This is what I think marriage is.
This is not what marriage is. This is a terrible marriage.
This is classic.
And then he gets like, and I'm like, "Okay." And then I was like, in about 10 minutes, you're going to see the best scene in the movie, which is when Christoph is leaning against the tree, and it turns into an 80s music video. Anyway, so he's like, "Okay." So, of course, 20 minutes later, he's like, "I like it better now." And then
This
he
is the
asked
straightest gay guy I've ever heard of.
He's just proceeding to get drunker and drunker. And I, of course, am counting the number of lines that are coming at him. And then he's like, so the movie ends. There's like 2 or 3 more things he talks to me about. Oh, Britain's Got Talent. I'm supposed to see a band. Anyway, and then whatever it is, we're like an hour and a half out. The movie, I've ended the movie. He's ended the movie. He liked Frozen 1 better. Anyway, so
that's a question I don't have to ask now.
Right. Well, and he was like, when he said, and I've been rude to him like 4 times. That when he said he didn't like Frozen 2, and I said, "Dude, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care. I'm trying to watch." And we're in hour 26. 126 is what my screen now says because I'm on Flight Tracker, and he goes, "I'm going to watch," and now he's slurring a little bit. He's like, "I'm going to watch CNN now because it's a shit show. What do you believe?"
Oh, no!
And I looked directly into his eyes and I said, "There is not a chance in hell we are discussing politics for the last hour of this flight." And he goes, "I wouldn't judge you." And I said, "It's not happening." And I put my hood up and I pretended to sleep, waiting for him to poke me again, and he didn't. But until I finally fell asleep, and that was good. And then I even slept through the taxiing. I slept through the ding. You can take your seatbelt off. I waited till I saw him peripherally stand up, and then I was like, I pretended to awake. And, in other words, first class, it was a bit of a waste. I was disappointed, but I should have been firmer with him from the beginning.
Could you write a letter to Delta or email them or talk to them? Wait
Dear
a minute.
Delta.
Because they kept serving him drinks and you used your points and you ended up sitting next to someone who was completely bombed and ruined your flight.
Right. Except for the fact that 2 of the stories he told me was about how he was a 3 million mile diamond member. I'm platinum now.
Well, but that doesn't...
Oh, no. It's a moment of silence.
But that doesn't mean he didn't ruin your experience and you
It's
wasted...
true. But yeah, he said that he talked to the manager of the Sky Club because he had a drunk who irritated him at the Sky Club. That was the first story.
So he had been irritated by a drunk.
Right.
And so he just passed the baton.
Exactly. There's nothing worse than a friendly drunk. I suppose a mean drunk.
I don't know. The audience seems to have opinions. They're
divided. They're divided.
Grumble, grumble.
All right.
Everyone's talking about their dads.
Or in my case, my mother. Is that my sister applauding? Anyway, so, yeah. So that's my drama. Oh, and other than that, did I do any sets? Oh, this next week, though, when this goes, I'm doing the Hot Tub Anniversary Show with fancy people.
Nice.
Which makes me almost fancy.
Any names you can drop?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, wow.
He's fancy. And ripped like Jesus now.
Yeah, he's quite ripped. Yeah.
Which is a Greg Barrett line. And
is he do you think is he gonna let it go now? I mean, is he
gonna let himself go?
Yeah, they finished filming.
Right, but what if there's a sequel? I think he's had a sandwich since they stopped filming. Like, I think he's eaten carbs since then.
What an awful way to live.
Yeah, it's a terrible way to live. Speaking of which, have you had any good food? Or are you just eating those Amy's things?
They're first of all, they're very tasty. And I have a microwave in my hotel room where I don't want to point out, I should be right now. I did burn a pizza terribly.
You should get one here. They have pretty good pizza here.
Well, I wanted it immediately. I didn't want to walk across the street to a comedy club.
Right. The chicken sandwich here.
I don't even like being in a comedy club during the day. It just feels disturbing.
Oh. I want to live in a comedy club. I come and visit Lewis during the afternoon. And go, what are you doing now? And he's like, working. I've already booked you. It's happening.
When I was last weekend I was in Sacramento.
Old Sac. I'm so sorry.
It irritates me how clever you think that is. It's not. It's a fucking
word in Old Sac
joke that you've laughed at too many times for a professional.
I'm embracing my silliness. Anyway, so I'm also kind of punchy.
It wasn't Old Sac. Old Sac is
you were
a
in New
club.
Sac anyway. So
I was in the Arden Center.
It's across from a mall, right?
It's in a mall. It's across from a mall. It's behind a mall. There's like malls. Sacramento, the outer rings of Sacramento are completely malled out.
Right.
And
how was that? I haven't been there in years.
It was fun.
Good.
It was a lot of fun. They were good shows, and I swam at this place called the Swimstitute. I was like, holy shit, I gotta go here. And it's like this really old pool. I think it's 25 meters. So it's old, but it's weirdly, that's a European length of
32 meters?
No, 25 meters.
25 meters, good.
And did I say 32?
No.
Okay, so, all right. So you're not paying attention.
Who needs a fucking witness? You people.
But I go on their website. Their website has this kind of harsh sentence on it, which is like, this is lap swim only. No family swim. No open swim. No rec swim. Lap swim only. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
It's finally your dream come true.
It was very far away. It was a very expensive swim, including the lift rides back and forth.
Sure.
But I did it once. And then the next day just, went in the hotel, did like the stair climber or whatever.
Here's my question. Do you ever rent a car because it would be cheaper?
No.
Okay.
Because it never ends up being cheaper, and you have to worry about getting the car back and filling it with gas. And this way, at least if it's about the same, and then some Lyft drivers getting a little bit of money, right?
True.
As opposed to me.
It's a gig economy.
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. But that was, and then, so then the week went through Sunday because it was President's Day the next day, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was a holiday. And so Monday morning, very early in the morning, I had like a 6:45 flight, which I was enraged at myself.
Yeah, always enraged.
Awful. So I get home around 8 a.m. and I have like a very, very blocked day because I have to leave again at 4:40 to come here.
That's right,
Yes,
because you came a day early.
Yes, I have a very small window of time. So, so first of all, I'm like, okay, the plane's going to get in at 8. Yoga, there's a yoga class at 9 o'clock, right? So I'm like, please God, let it be on time. Let my bags not take too long to come out. I'm going to go to yoga, do yoga, then come home and pretend like I just got off the plane so my son doesn't think I went to yoga.
Did you have any sort of tiniest of all lives?
Yes. And didn't spend any time with him. But he had been asleep most of the time anyway, so he didn't notice. But,
he's 13.
Okay. Yeah. So then, and he had the day off, right? So we stayed up till 2 a.m. watching anime. So then I had to interview a math tutor, and we went to get a flu vaccine. They were out of vaccines. There's a run on vaccines. I don't know if anyone is not vaccinated, but try to get one if you can. Because when you get the flu vaccine, if you were to get the coronavirus, they can't, because you have the vaccine, apparently they can eliminate the regular flu more quickly from the list of things that could be wrong with you and properly treat you for corona more quickly, apparently. Okay. That's what I've read. But just a little health info for you guys.
I actually, that makes me want to get the flu vaccine more than I've ever wanted in my life.
And then met the math tutor at this coffee house called Base Camp in Burbank, which I had never heard of before, and it's awesome.
Interesting.
That guy was great. And then went back, packed, and then came here. Very quick. There was a lot going on Monday. Everything had to run on time. And I'm going to do another one of those on Sunday tomorrow when I go back home.
What are you doing?
This is my dream. Okay. So I wake up here at 6. I go to a yoga here at 7.
Yeah.
Right. I catch my 11:15 flight, and then I get home, and the math tutor comes at 8:30. Between 7 and 8:30, I placate my son because he has to do math on Sunday night, and then we go to bed.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's micro. That's
a day.
That is a day.
Try to get it all in.
It's like you're the president, where you're like put in like minute increments.
But no, I'm also my own scheduler.
Right.
So I can talk myself out of it. I'm like, you can sleep in.
Right. My flight is at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then I'm home for a week and a half. I'm going to run my new album, Lyric Hyperion, which is a small theater and cafe in Los Angeles, emailed me and asked me if I wanted to run my hour in the afternoon.
Wow.
And it's a free, just use the theater for free. And I made a flyer. So we know that at least 42 people will come. No, we don't know. But we'll give it a shot. And I just need to get the order right for the new album. And I also got a preliminary agreement from 800 Pound Gorilla.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I just got to send it to the lawyer.
Here's the thing. I'm very stressed out by everyone's new albums and their new hours that they're running.
You just did one last year.
No, but
you have your 5 to listen to.
Right. No, but wait, let me just finish. I mean, everyone, it seems like everyone's like, all right, got a fucking new hour. I'm going to work out. What do you mean? I've been working. I have 4 new minutes and I had 5 last week. Like I eliminated a minute. Right? How the fuck are you guys adding tens of minutes together when I'm losing time every time I go up on stage? I delete jokes.
Right.
It drives me up the wall. Not just you, everyone's stressing me out with their fucking hours.
Right. Well, I can't be the source of your problems because I haven't put an album out in 3 years. So, it's not on me.
I did have an offer from a comedian and a comedy writer that they would listen to my sets and make notes.
When you texted me that, I was like, you wouldn't let the label listen to it, but you'd let some rando comic
No, it's not a rando.
Okay.
It's someone we know, a former comic of the week.
Will you write that person's name down?
This is like the least scandalous write-down.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're not listening to me. I'm talking.
I am. I'm doing this.
Oh, you're just letting
them
know?
They don't know who it is. Look her up. There you go.
She's one of our comics of the week.
It's a comic of the week.
She's very funny.
Cull the 400 names and say to yourself, oh.
But here's my thing. I don't know what to do with that information after I get it.
Right. Because you have to listen to them. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm like, well, if I put this out, so I'm trying to replace material as fast as I can. For example, here, right? So I have some new stuff I'm working on. It's not as strong as like the older stuff that's solid.
By nature.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So am I going to go to a club 6 months from now and go, all right, I'm just going to have a B+ set or a B- set because I'm only doing new stuff in case people have already heard the old stuff on the album. Right?
It's like I'm talking to Maria Bamford here. Here's the thing. So Bamford's Hour just came out, right? On Amazon. Mm-hmm. Weakness is the brand. Anyway, so there's a small N.
Right.
She has weeks of work coming up, right? I mean, she does this for a living.
Right.
Much like everyone, right? So she has to do the old material. And people want to see some of the old material. they've just seen it on Amazon and they're like, oh, I want to see the closer. I want to see this thing. And we're not as famous as she is.
Right, but
it's going to be okay.
They don't laugh as hard at jokes they've already heard. There's no way.
No, that's because it's the element of surprise. That's how stand-up comedy works.
So it doesn't, I know. What I'm saying is it doesn't feel as good to perform material that people may have already heard.
Right.
It's not as fun for me on stage. Or them.
Right, but you need passive income, so put out the fucking album. That kid has to be able to go to art school. Let's do the comic of the week. Speaking of comics of the week.
Much time have we done? Is
30
minutes.
Keeping track? I am.
Only 30?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so this lady, I was working at the Ha Ha.
Right, the Ha Ha Club in LA, and I had never heard of her. And I say that, and she'll one day come up to me and say, "We've worked together." But we watched her set on the Kevin Hart thing, right?
Right.
And it was hilarious.
So I walk in on a Saturday night, and someone's murdering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, who's this?" I'm like, "What the? Oh, it's a woman. Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was.
Either. Yeah.
And I just caught the last 3 minutes of her act, and the crowd's like crazy. They're in love with her.
She's crushing. Yeah.
She's crushing. And what I saw was really funny, even though I missed some of the setup to it.
Right.
And her name is Tacarra Williams.
Tacarra Williams with a T-A-C, right?
Tacarra. And on Instagram, she's Tacarra Comedy. And on Twitter, she's Tacarra Comedian. She really fucking likes to mix that shit up.
That's it.
But she was on Bring the Funny, apparently, which I never watched. It was the Chrissy Teigen, Jeff Foxworthy NBC vehicle for again, ruining comedy. They make you take out all your funny jokes and then be judged by people, even though they know the outcome in advance.
Because it's casting.
Yes, it's a reality show.
Yeah. Anyway.
But you know what? It gets you exposure. It's good TV credit. It has its benefits, and she did, I guess, really well on that. And then she's part of Kevin Hart's. I forget, he had a series where he brought comics out and
right. And it was, that's what we watched.
We just watched.
But if you Google Tacarra Williams, that's the first video that comes up, and it was freaking hilarious.
Yes.
So she was a delight.
I don't know if she still has a job, but in that set, she had a job as she taught inmates in a prison.
Right.
And she's talking about that experience. It was very funny,
and it was a really, really funny story with a lot of punchlines. And she's our comic of the week. Hey, let's take this opportunity to do a Max Fun break. What do you think about that?
Sure.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, everybody. My name is Justin McElroy.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
We're both doctors, and
Nope, just me.
okay. Well, Sydney's a doctor, and I'm a medical enthusiast, and we create Sawbones, a marital tour of misguided medicine.
Every week I dig through the annals of medical history to bring you the wildest, grossest, sometimes dumbest tales of ways we've tried to treat people throughout history.
Now, lately we do a lot of modern fake medicine because everything's a disaster, but it's slightly less of a disaster every Friday, right here on MaximumFun.org, as we bring you Sawbones, a marital tour of misguided medicine. And remember,
don't drill a hole in your head.
We're back. How funny if I said, and let's do another. It's so I was on what was I on? I was on Facebook. You're not there. And
I've been posting shit.
Have you?
Yes, I finally figured out. I had this camera. I got this camera where I would.
I thought you had scruples. That's why you went away from Facebook. No?
No, I'm trying to get people to come to shows.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
No
you
room
lose
for
scruples when you're trying to sell out shows, honey.
Exactly.
All right. So I got
baby
this
cakes.
Canon camera, and every time I would videotape a set, it would be like 2 gigabytes, gigantic, and you couldn't wirelessly transfer it anywhere, and it would just be stuck there on some fucking SD card or whatever. And then I realized, I could select a different setting and it would be a lot smaller. So anyway, boring story short, I can immediately put them on my iPad and fuck around with them on iMovie, and I captioned a couple, audience things here, and I did that in Sacramento and just threw them up at night, including this one situation where I was talking to a woman about her pet. Her dog had died. She's like, it was paralyzed, so we put him down. And she was sharing a table with a guy in a wheelchair. And so I pointed that out. It was funny at the time. So you guys can look for that on Instagram.
She had not thought about putting him down.
Right,
So
exactly.
that was the twist.
Yes,
that
yes,
was
yes. So yeah, anyway. So I felt like I was I'm fucking into marketing. I love this. And then yesterday I didn't want to open iMovie. I didn't want to be typing. It's so laborious to fucking type and find crowd work and put it together.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I can't believe you can watch sets enough to make these clips, but you can't listen to your fucking album.
Because I'm looking for crowd work. I
you're just
scroll
looking for
past
crowd work.
material. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to put material on it. I'm just like,
No, you're
hey, this
true.
is the kind of fun stuff that happens. Come to the show. That's all I want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It's none of that. I don't have any of that. I just it's literally me for 45 to 55 minutes telling you every joke that I'm working on right now, and I'm like, you can fucking laugh later. I have fun.
That doesn't seem like a good plan for a
Super
comic.
fun for me. I'm just like, here are 30,000 premises and punchlines. Sort them out in your own goddamn time. Smoke them if you got them. Anyway, so
Letting them do the work. I appreciate that.
yeah. It's I know. There was something I was going to tell you about. I guess there's some tinfoil hat brigade with comedians. It was what was the name of the?
I'm afraid to use names. I don't want to. I don't want to incur the wrath.
Yeah, who wants the wrath? And
certain supporters.
Right, and no, it was literally. I think it was about Mayor Pete's manager worked for somebody.
A comedy club?
No, it was like, oh, the
Why
guy.
are you lifting things?
Because I'm looking for the note. Oh, it's underneath your chair, and I don't know why, but it is. So yeah,
Okay.
It's literally Mayor Pete's campaign manager is an investor in the company that bought Shadow Inc., the company that makes the software for the Iowa caucuses.
Yeah.
So there was I was on a thread on Facebook where a bunch of people were like, Mayor Pete is bought and sold. He made this happen. He did this thing. And then other people were like, well, what's your source on this? What's your source on this? 3 different sources, all the same podcast.
Whose podcast?
3 different.
A friend of ours?
Yes. And 3 different.
Let me see.
3 different podcasts.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Fucking tinfoil
that
hat
makes
parade.
sense.
Yeah. Welcome
my
to the
God.
tinfoil hat party. There's a name on a piece of paper. I was like, you can't all quote different parts of the same fucking podcast.
But you guys
that
should.
has-
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
But 3 different links to 3 different parts of the same. By the way, same episode. I was like, but he mentioned it so many times in the hour.
some of these like video podcasts are so professional looking. They look as good as they really do look as good as CNN. You just need a green screen and someone to do your graphics. I mean, you can look like an actual professional journalist, and you're like a funny journalist. Like, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So he seems like
He's
a funny
riffing.
journalist, but
Yeah,
he's a comic.
Right.
Comics aren't journalists.
There's very little research going on.
Yeah, you got to get a fucking degree in journalism and know how to write and ask questions.
How about some interns? Just someone looking up something more than Wikipedia, or just repeating one thing over and over again. But now here's the thing: you've said this.
Yes.
There are video podcasts that look very professional. All you need is a green screen and someone to do graphics. Inside my head, I'm like, does she want to do a video podcast of this, and should I work on that? And then all of a sudden you're like, it's so much work. Why did you do it?
Dude, I'm not giving you secret messages, okay? I'll fucking tell you something if I want to tell you.
Good.
I'm not that.
I don't know.
I don't have that much subterfuge in me.
Right. I might be a people pleaser.
You're a little child who had to decipher her parents' mixed messages.
All right.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
There weren't any.
Okay.
The messages were, be home at 5 o'clock. For every minute you're late, you're grounded a day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not good. We had tasks. There was chanting. Wash, wipe, and put away. Live to eat another day. There were charts. There were
you guys
graphs.
elves?
There were French corners on the beds.
Were you a family of Armenian elves?
There was an Italian Polish lady who had some real work being done right there. Nancy Cation.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Cation had she has a great loss to the Austrian army. So. A couple of her favorite films, of course. Sound of Music, Mary Poppins.
Right.
Sadly, we were not cherubic.
President, Trump. I hate even saying President and Trump. But it's still jarring to me.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
is.
shocking.
Yeah.
But he referenced Gone with the Wind, in a rally where he's complaining about
Parasite. Yeah, he didn't like Parasite, you guys. Weird.
There's no way he saw it.
There's
no way he saw it.
absolutely no way. You know I had so much in common with him.
You haven't seen Parasite yet?
And will never.
Well, I don't understand your stance against seeing a movie.
Tension. I don't enjoy tension. I'm busy rewatching Frozen 2 several times.
This whole fucking podcast is tension.
Oh, I know. I have not seen Parasite, though I made Andy tell me all about it, so that it's as close to getting. When we got married, I got all of his. I read all of his books. I got all of his books in the wedding, and I got all of his movies too.
Who?
Andy Ashcraft. So everything that he's seen and done, I've also done them. Just because we're married.
Oh, is that how semen works?
Yeah, that's how it works.
It transfers experiences? Interesting.
Water has memory. That is a line from Frozen 2.
Oh my God.
I forgot the quote I was going to write. God damn it.
Ha ha, Jackie. You had something to say. And you forgot. I have been, when I have weeks like this, I find a series and dip myself into it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
oh, my God, that's right.
I have been watching Outlander so fucking hard. Oh my God. Why did you make that?
Here's the problem with that. For me, I'm not saying you should not enjoy.
Did you watch it or are you talking about the books?
Here's what happened. I tried to read the books. I tried to watch the TV show. This is exactly the same thing that happened to me with Game of Thrones. I tried to watch read the books. I tried to watch the show, and then I just ended up reading the synopses. And
You're an awful person. Why are you in the arts?
I am in the arts. Here's what I don't like about for me, Outlander. I was like, what are you do? Why are there 2 time travels? Why is it a period piece with time travel? Just fucking go back to Scotland.
They fucking have sex in 2 centuries. That's why. Because there's fucking
Just
Scottish boning, and then there's genteel British
World War II
pussy
boning.
eating. Yes, and you need both of them to fully enjoy the series.
I stand corrected.
But there is this. Okay, Prince Philip, the guy who plays Prince Philip in The Crown, is this sadistic lunatic, and there is this scene that is horrifying and sexual.
And hot as fuck? What's happening?
The Outlander and Prince Philip that I will never get out of my head. Because I was appalled and turned on at the same time.
Have you ever heard that Kevin Nealon bit? He's been doing it for a long time, but it's a great bit.
No.
Where he's watching porn and he wasn't that interested, and then he was sort of interested, then he became more interested, and then he was really interested, then he became really, really interested, and then no interest at all. He built it much better than that. Yeah, and so anyway, I sense that's what happened to you in the weird.
No, I'm
Outlander
still
scene.
interested.
Oh my God, you've got to come.
I'm waiting for my mother to die.
That's gonna make you come. That's
when
gonna make
I'm
you
going to have orgasms again. Sorry. Well, maybe you should look at yourselves and why you can't have orgasms while your mothers are alive. Maybe it's you, not me.
Or why you're gonna have the biggest orgasm when your mom dies.
Oh! Bam!
I'm having
We'll
fun.
see.
Are you really filming this for Patreon?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I just thought I'd throw it up there if they want to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know if it's angled at the right. Might be.
I don't even know if they
looking at
press
your foot.
record.
Oh, I threw my little camera that I learned how to use because I finally read the manual.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I
I don't like reading manuals.
Oh,
I like to think I can figure it out without reading a manual. And then
I know a guy named Emmanuel. Anyway, I'm the father of 3. Have I mentioned? Anyway, that's what that joke is.
I think
Let's do another Max Fun break.
How many fucking breaks have we done for these people?
Nearly 2 decades ago, Commander Data sacrificed his life.
The Greatest Discovery is also about Star Trek Picard.
Jesse Thorne won't let us stay on the network unless we do all the Star Trek series, and so here we are, doing a show about maybe our favorite Star Trek character of all time.
If you're excited to watch the new Star Trek Picard series and you'd like some veteran Star Trek podcasters to watch it along with, we're your guys. Sorry you're stuck with us.
What the hell are you doing out here, Picard? Saving the galaxy?
So subscribe to The Greatest Discovery. You can find it anywhere you find podcasts.
Or at MaximumFun.org.
That one.
Okay.
And we're back, you guys. 15 minutes.
So last night before the 8:00 show, I was like, somebody call in a bomb threat, please. I want to finish watching this episode of Outlander. Could the guest set go long? Please don't make me go to the comedy club. But I turned it off. I was a professional.
Did you have a guest set in the first show Friday?
No, we didn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You don't have a guest set first show
Right.
on the weekends.
So you're going to do a guest set tonight.
I'll do a guest set second show. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I will get to bed later. Thank you.
I'm the one with the 8:41 flight. First class.
Wow. Again?
Again. It was round trip.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
I bought the round trip.
Well, I'm going to relax on a Southwest flight that has a 2.5 hour layover in Oakland.
Are you in the A group?
No, I'm always B. Yeah, late Bs. Beef in the 40s. But, okay, I had 2 suitcases full of books this week.
Right.
They were almost 50 pounds each. They were such a nightmare to lug around.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so bad for my Lyft driver. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm almost out of books.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We brought notebooks.
Yeah,
I brought
we have
notebooks.
notebooks.
If you want.
But
It's a way to, because they're $30 online because of they all each weigh a half a pound, but they're $20 live and in person.
Right. Oh, here's what's great is our notebooks cost the same as my book, but our notebooks have no fucking words in them. And my books have my heart and soul, and my father died for one of them. But you can get a notebook with no words on it for the same price, and I fucking hate capitalism. My books should be $200 each.
I don't have anything to say.
But here's my point. Southwest is 2 bags for free.
2 bags for free.
So I pushed these 2 giant suitcases to the baggage handlers.
And you're
I
like,
tip
live
them
it up.
5 each.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And everything worked out okay. But now I go back with these empty incredibly
suitcases.
light suitcases.
I know. I ordered 200. I sold out of the first 100 of my Squish T-shirts.
Oh, I like how you wove that in. It's very organic, but it doesn't feel like you're going to be obligated. Like even if you get sick of that bit, it still just slips in and out. It's not like the marquee word phrasing of that bit, you know?
Oh, the word that I just
T-shirt.
called it the Squish T-shirt.
Yeah, the Squish T-shirt. How it works in your joke is nice, and it's not. I feel it's not something you're going to get super sick of for a while.
Right.
Like you can do it for a while without being like, oh, this old turd.
Right.
You know how you are with jokes that you're dependent on because you're selling merch that is associated with it.
Spooky radio.
This guy, yes,
which is a great bit, but it's 2 albums ago.
Yeah.
So and I ordered. I'm sold out of Meat Shield pins and Spooky pins.
Yeah.
And I ordered 200 of each of those. But guess where they're coming from? Coronavirus, China. Yeah, because you cannot get an American-made enamel pin. It does not happen. It does not occur in nature.
That's because grown-ups shouldn't wear pins. But go ahead, continue.
No, they're the Super Bowl of adulthood. You're right. Because here's the thing about enamel pins. You have them as long as they last. Because they fall off of whatever fucking thing you put them on. Yeah, but they were great while they were there. That's why they're only $10 instead of, and because they're kind of expensive, but they're not, and they're better looking than a button.
So your production is being slowed down because they're from Wuhan?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but they're,
you and Apple having the same production problems. Interesting.
I have so much in common with
Tim Cook
or Tim Apple. And
it's Tim Apple. You're right.
Tim Apple and Bezos. We have so much in common with older white gentlemen. That's it.
I like how that petered out. That was a good riff.
It was real nice. Anyway, but here's the good is but I was leading to the fact that I ordered 200 Squish T-shirts.
Yeah.
And I am gonna take 2 pieces of luggage because I'm doing Dayton. I'm doing 5 shows at the Dayton Funny Boat, and then I'm doing 5 shows at the Bloomington Comedy Attic, and I'm not back to back, and I'm not coming home in between.
How much does it cost to ship T-shirts? Too much?
It's too much when I get 2 bags for free on Delta.
Yes.
I get 3 bags actually, but then when because traveling back with empty bags, that feels like a pain. Except for not if you check them, I guess it can't possibly matter.
You know what I want to do is I want to get a suitcase that fits inside the biggest suitcase. Like just get one that
dolls.
Yes, nesting suitcases. So at least on the way back, I'm only paying for one.
Oh, fun, and just for me. I love something adorable. Anyway, so what else you got?
Tonight's show, the 8 o'clock is sold out.
Nice work.
Yes. Well, I would say the club, or maybe
nice work.
My Instagram wheelchair thing. Hey, this kind of shit happens here.
Come on out.
Yeah. So part of me is like this size of this audience. I don't know what it is. Like 40. What do you think?
I don't know. Count off. No.
But I felt like I actually said some phrasing on some newer stuff on my set before for this crowd.
Yeah.
And this is almost like the perfect size to have that happen, because it's not like when it's sold out, like the 8 o'clock show, it's like I just have to kill, right? And so I'm not gonna fucking
you're gonna. I mean, the thing is because of who you are, and because of who they are together. These audiences are so good.
Yes. And I'm not looking for a compliment. What I'm saying,
you're short and you bother me. Then. Were you looking for an insult?
No. What I'm saying is like this kind of a crowd is a good one to work on new stuff, because it's less pressure, but you guys are listening intensely in a way that's terrifying. And then that acted a fear part of my brain of, you better fucking say this one right. And so I think there was some phrasing, and I was like, oh, thank God I recorded that, because I think that's like it. And then for the 8 o'clock show, it's just going to be this wall of humanity. Mm-hmm. And versus me, it's a battle every time you're on stage, right? And so I'm going to manage them. And so it'll probably be less, like the delicate needlework of trying new stuff, and more just like fucking hammers on their heads.
Saturday first show it's a wider swath.
Yes.
For sure. But I like to just sort of jump in the middle of it and wander around.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
But I'm just saying, like, these shows are more fun for getting that kind of work done. And then those shows are more for, like, it's just a show. It's show business. It's killing. It's that feeling and getting off stage and, all that fun stuff.
And then you go home tomorrow.
Yes.
What are you doing this next week?
This week have some stuff in LA, and then Saturday I'll be in New York on the 29th.
Okay.
I'll be at the Stand and the Broadway. I'll be back and forth all night.
So you're doing next weekend in New York?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Okay.
And then the following weekend, on the 7th, I'm in Tacoma. I'm doing...
Oh, with the Team Coco?
No, Laughing Matter, or you did that gig.
That one, that nice theater?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finally, you got me a gig.
Well, I'm answering questions all the time about you. What's Laurie think? I don't know.
But I'm going to guess wrong. and then fly to Minneapolis because of it.
I'll guess wrong. It's probably something critical. Wait a minute.
That's just on the 7th, on March 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, so come out to that if you can, if you're in Tacoma.
Right. You did radio here.
I did.
With Tom Bernard, right?
I did, yes.
And did you guys get to hear that? Yeah.
You know what was funny, though? Because, can I tell the story?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Well, you did it on the radio, right?
Well,
he told it on the radio.
He apparently, he rubbed your shoulders once. This is what he told me. He said he rubbed your shoulders, and then he realized that, I'm not supposed to do that anymore, and that you were cool about it. But then when I heard your side of the story, I'm like, that was presented to, everyone thinks their own side is accurate, correct?
Correct. And my side was this. As he walked behind me, he put his hands on my shoulders and he just was like, hey, it's good to see you, and did that weird squeeze thing. And then he played through. And then he said, oh, I'm not supposed to do that anymore. And I said, not ever, Tom. Not before, not now. They're my shoulders.
Well,
but and I said, but I know that you were squeezing by and you could have grabbed the chair, you grabbed my shoulders, and it's okay with me. And he was like, oh, good, all right. And because the thing is Tom Bernard,
I don't think it was good, all right in his head, because that was 2 years ago. That's the first thing he brought up to me about you. I didn't even say your name. He's like, you still, Jackie, right?
Right. He still brings up the fact that
him.
He still brings up something I said 20 years ago about a team that is no longer in Minneapolis, the Swarm. I guess I said go Swarm at some point, and it made him laugh so much that 3,700 years later, he's still talking about me saying go Swarm. Tom Bernard, he's not, it's the way he the way he presented it was weird. That's all.
Okay.
Tom's not the problem. It's his perception and his sort of, we're not supposed to do this anymore. Well, that's the weird thing where you're like, dude, you know that you don't do that normally because you know nobody's supposed to fucking do that.
That's that generation's. That's the Joe
I've been
Biden.
told
That's
that
that generation's thing, though.
Yeah, I've been told since I was a child that those people were going to die and not be replaced. But there's always some weird fucking 35-year-old on deck who's like, I want what my father had, where I got to be a creep. And you're like, no, you were all the racists were supposed to die, remember? They were all supposed to die, and then we were going to live in some weird fucking utopia.
Right.
Oh, well. Hey, I think, Joe, do you know how long we've been going up here forever?
Yeah, we're at 55.
55, 5 minutes.
We got this.
I love media here because none of it is early in the morning. It was a 9 a.m. pickup and a 10 a.m. pickup.
Yes.
2 days in a row.
Right. There's no 6:30.
Horrific.
Hey, you're doing a drive-through.
Yeah.
Drive time.
Yeah. Because I don't feel like people that listen to the radio at 7 a.m. are going to come to a show at 8 o'clock at night. It's a different kind of a human. You know?
Right.
I mean, people listening to the radio probably don't even leave their homes.
Right. People are still radio listeners. You might be onto something.
Do you have any other road work coming up soon?
I just got a bunch of work. Remember how sad I was?
Fuck? Yes.
Yeah. I was so sad. I thought that I have 3 weeks in Canada working with Maria.
Wow.
In November in Ontario. And then 3 weeks. No, 3 nights. I'm sorry.
Are you
3
doing?
nights. Guess what? Every night working for Maria Bamford pays a week's pay. Do you know why? Because Maria Bamford is an enormously generous human being.
Right.
And then I have 3 nights working with Brian Regan, which is also 3 weeks of pay.
Oh my God.
Because Brian Regan is also a very generous man.
Yeah.
So, and those are local. Cerritos, they're California gigs. I know, outstanding.
So is that a casino?
I don't know.
You
I
don't
can only
care?
hope so. Because for about a year now, I have been jonesing. This is the weirdest thing. I don't like casinos. I don't like Vegas. I like. I don't mind a show. I would go see a J-Lo. That's a person.
A
Who
J-Lo?
sings.
There's only one. There's not like a myriad to choose from.
Aren't they a pack? No, I'm kidding. But I would see like Celine. You know, there's those old.
You'd see a big show in
I would
Vegas.
see a big show in
Britney
Vegas.
Spears.
Right.
David Copperfield.
You know, for my my bachelor.
David Copperfield makes consent disappear. Did you know that?
That's the rumor, folks. Well played. It's for those in the back. And yeah, no, but I've been wanting to go to like a casino and play blackjack. I have a huge desire to light $40 on fire. Because like Mystic, if I go to Mystic, right, there's a $5 table. I can play for an hour and 15 minutes for $40, and then I will get about an hour into it. Someone will come by and ask me if I want a drink. I'll get a Diet Coke. 15 minutes later, right when I lose my last chip, that Diet Coke will show up, and they'll be looking for a $1 tip. And then I'll leave. So I know it sounds like a pretty glamorous
You've
Saturday
done a
evening.
disturbing amount of fantasizing about this night.
Well, it's that or Outlander.
That would be a great line to go out on, but we probably have 2 more minutes.
Well, we're going to be out there selling. I brought a couple of T-shirts. I don't know why I have the weird sizes I do, but I have a couple of my dad T-shirts where it's a bunch of sayings of my father's, and then I brought a handful of challenge coins with my dad's face on it, and then we have I have the notebooks.
Yeah, my shit's not as difficult. I don't challenge you. Okay, if you can read, you're good with my merch.
Do you only have dad books left, or did you sell out of the mom books?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Parenting is a little more. People want to buy a parenting book more than they want to buy a cancer book. As it turns out. No, I should bring like a 2-to-1 ratio. Is what I should do.
Okay.
On the road.
But that's great that you've sold so many, because that is sweet.
Yeah, I mean it's not great money because they're not cheap. They're not like pins, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I wrote them. I want them to be read, so it's good to get them out. And then I don't know if it makes a dent according to a publisher, and that might help me be able to write another book.
Right.
I don't know.
God, I wish I had written a book. I don't want to actually do the work.
I think this podcast is just gonna peter out, and then.
Hey, thanks for coming out, you guys. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned, audience supported.